buddy. Do that. All right. So let's just land into this space that we're in. Let yourself slow way down. Just give yourself a chance to step out of the story of your life. Let your vision soften and take everything in the room in at once. Let your heart soften and feel everything in the room at once. Let your body arrive. Nothing to pull in any direction. No future to fret over, no past to cling to. If there's anything anyone would particularly like some help with, you're welcome to put it in the chat. And we'll make sure it's included. You got it, Anna. Okay. Let's begin by going into meditation. And then when everyone's nice and focused, we'll talk a little bit. So, attention high in the body at the forehead and crown. Let your eyes soften and just take in everything in front of you without focusing on any one thing. But let them just land at a spot in front of you or on the floor, just to get them out of your way. And from there, just begin to breathe. As you breathe in, you're right there with that breath, right there with that inhale. As you breathe out, you ride that exhale all the way down, doing nothing but attending to the breath. And if you can do this, you'll come into alignment with yourself. And when that happens, then we can start talking. There's a teaching that wants to come through today, but I can only give it to you if you're going really deep. So tonight is not a night to half-ass it, okay? Attention at the forehead and crown. And what if you really just gave yourself to the breath? I can't picture how we're going to get from this feeling to the place we need to be in for that teaching, but I bet it'll happen anyways. So just go ahead, and if you're uncomfortable, just let the uncomfortable feeling be. Nothing to do about it. You be the watcher of your breath. Be so given to it that everything in you aligns to this moment. None of it matters. Let it go. Feel the discomfort of releasing your clutch. Let the discomfort be there. It'll be fine without you. Let it go. Good. And now let yourself slow down. To the gentle, expansive feeling of this moment. Those parts of you that are still moving, Maybe not in your mind, but you can feel it in your body. Just acknowledge it and release your clutch on it. It can stay or go. That's not for you to decide. Just stop playing with it. There's a fundamental realization that solves pretty much every problem at once. It's the realization of you. What you are. What you are not. On a pretty deep level, you believe that you are your collection of stories built around a name. You are the name in those stories that you carry. That's what most people actually believe. That's what the experience of life tells you. Because you're experiencing life in the kind of world of phenomena. And so we're trained to place our attention on objects. But none of that is you. You've experienced you in this class. You probably didn't recognize it as such because it's so quiet in the beginning. You barely connected your awareness to it. It's the wrong way to say that. Your capacity to understand has barely bridged to it. But if you're really focusing now, there's a silent backdrop all around you. That comes to life as you relax. A part of you that just opens up and unfolds into it. That's what you are. And while at first glance, it looks like less than what you thought you were, it's actually more. It carries the pregnant potentiality of the entire universe. And that's not something to memorize. That's something to experience. through that true part of yourself, we're all connected. It's the only part of you that's present in this moment. Everything else, the part of you that you think is so real, is actually just a series of thoughts that are either reaching into the future, which doesn't exist, or the past, which really doesn't exist. It's over. I don't mean that metaphorically, I mean it pretty literally. This moment is it. The rest is story. The meanings you assign to this moment are pulled from your past. It's pulled from story. And if you let go of the story, the meaning disappears. You have a web of stories around this personality that you have developed. And they're a filter for your experience of you. And you know this, you've experienced this, because this isn't your only web. You construct different webs for different places. Think of your workplace. Does it not light up a completely different filter? Filled with its own feelings as the light refracts through it. Or your role as a parent. Or your role as an artist. Or worst of all, your role as a spiritual person. The most egregious one we have. None of that is you. It's a bunch of temporary thoughts. If they all disappeared, you'd still be here. None of that is you. It's a filter. It's a set of limitations, parameters, for the unlimited freedom that you are. For that absolute expansive intelligence that you are. And it's okay. Without that filter, the expansiveness has no meaning. That filter turns pure expansive intelligence into usable power. Gives it shape, gives it form, gives it force. But the shaping is not who you are. And the shaping has been on automatic pilot for most of your life. And so a lot of it is downright dysfunctional. But because you believe it is something self-existent and not a creation, your ability to just destroy it or change it or do whatever you need to do feels difficult, unlikely. And so you swim in the circles of these few little filters, these few little masks through which you experience yourself and life. The filter's not a problem. Not really. You're here to get lost in a filter. If there wasn't an opportunity to get lost, there'd be no evolution, there'd be no waking up, there'd be no ability for that expansive consciousness to see itself. The evolution of those filters is that consciousness acting consciously in life. From a spiritual perspective, that evolution is going to happen no matter what. But it happens a lot faster when you're focusing on it, when you're practicing. And the ability to step out of all of it and be in your true self, your pure self. It fixes all the problems that are encountered when you're living life through filters. It returns your energy. It returns your clarity. And it's that clarity that gives you the ability to actually make changes to the system of filters. So most people, they came as consciousness, they got lost in a filter, and they've been stuck in it ever since, a slave to it. You guys have been pulling out of it, being with what's left, enjoying the benefits of a little extra energy. I don't mean zip or vim or vigor. I mean that energy that allows you to sleep at night, that energy that allows you to cognitively reframe dysfunctional thought patterns. You know, focusing on these things just does good things for life. But there are ways to step back into the body without the filter. And it's incredibly healing. It's incredibly energizing. But you have to be able to let them go. You have to know what's real and what isn't. There's a way to step into a filter from the position of your true self and let it cleanse the whole thing. Not erase it, but make it functional and strong and clear. But you have to know what you are. You have to be able to be what you are. And bridge that reality to the reality of the filter. And that's what I'd like us to work with tonight. It's a tall order. I'm not sure if we'll pull it off. But Anna, releasing emotional attachments, it doesn't come from anything except realizing what's real. You know, those emotional attachments, they have a storyline attached to them that you believe in. And it's a limiting storyline. It's a filter. And you have to be able to actually allow that filter to grow and change into something more functional. Whatever it is your heart thinks needs to happen, it doesn't. There's a million other ways it can go down that would be just as good, if not better. But you have to be able to see it. So let me try and show you the highest version of that. So we're going to go back into meditation. And we're going to go very, very deep. I mean, even with your eyes open, I want you to forget the name of everything in this room. That's all just your story. Forget its functionality. Forget your own name. And just be with the silent, resonant everything that is left when you release your control. Get your eyes out of the way. Shift your attention high in your body. Be aware of that backdrop of silence. And with every breath, give yourself to that. Nothing to be. Nothing to understand. Just awareness. Not aware of any one thing. But just aware of whatever is. Make your way into that state now. nothing to adjust. Nothing to correct or manipulate. Just you. In full awareness. What are you aware of? Nothing. You're just aware. The switch is just on. Define nothing. Let the whole system go. Expand as that backdrop of silence. Let go of your roles. Let go of everything you are. Just lay it all down. It's getting easier. Lay it all down. That little hint of a feeling of a story that you can't even make out, but that you know so well. Lay it down. Let it go. You don't need it. This is the real you. It's the jumping off point of exploration of the real you. Now, without leaving this place, just become aware of your physical body. Bridge the real you, that experience, with your physical body, without analyzing, without trying to fix anything. Give the physical body an experience of the real you. That expansive presence glowing within the boundaries of the physical body, which is just its center. Let it do its thing. Let its awareness touch every part of you. Let your awareness touch every part of your physical body. Inhabit the physical body divinely as the real you. The filter of the physical body but just that. None of the other filters. Let the real you inhabit that blueprint and feel what that feels like. Now let go of the body and just go back to the pure being. Forget the world of form, forget yourself, lay it all down. Make that formless state your home, just for now, so that you're strong there. Now this next part is tricky. Very carefully without losing that state. Touch one of the story structures of your life. Maybe it's your workplace. Maybe it's your marriage. One of those systems of stories. But touch it not to manipulate. Touch it to bridge your true self to it. Touch it to experience the true self flowing through its pathways, witnessing it. Just that awareness cleanses it, changes it, evolves it. But the intent is not to change. It's just an acknowledgement from the highest part of yourself. Touch it. And as you're comfortable that it won't take you back, you can flow into it with your full awareness. Don't let it suck you into the story. Just let it burn through all the wiring and connections. Light the whole thing up. As you see feelings, lay them down. Let them go. That story is your new body. Inhabit it. And lay down the things that aren't working. You have to be more focused on the real you than the story, or you'll get lost. This is how consciousness sees itself and evolves. This is why you came to this world. But a practice like this is evolution on steroids. come back out to the pure conscious state, just for a moment. And now step back into the system of meanings of this moment. Let the room become the room. Whatever device you're watching this on becomes the device. Feel your body. Reincarnate. None of this is you. It's a system of filters that limit but also give meaning and form, channels through which power can flow, channels through which you can flow. But you built most of them without thinking, and mostly according to your fears and desires. But now that you're back, it feels different, doesn't it? Everything's still here. But its meaning is slightly shifted. It's cleaner, freer. It's evolved. The world around you is actually the world inside you. It's a reflection of you. And it evolves when the real you gives it its awareness. I'm pretty sure you guys did pretty well. And I hope that answered your question. But that's how you release emotional attachments. You release them through reality. Because any emotional attachment is basically a dysfunctional filter. And that doesn't mean that you can't have dysfunctional filters. It just means that you are aware when they are dysfunctioning to a point that it's costing you your awareness and your peace. You can have whatever you want. This isn't a meritocracy. You're not being judged. Any questions about any of that before we close up? I need to find a better ending statement. I don't actually want any of you to close up. Okay, everybody. I would love it if you would play with this week. Any questions before we open up? I like it, Sabrina. All right, guys. This will be posted on the website, so if you need to watch it again, go ahead. Take yourself through it again. You know, from that space, I mean, see if you can get there on your own. I bet you can. You know, it's always easier in the moment because you're on borrowed energy, but you guys have been at this a while. and you can replay for the next week and really master the road to it. All right, I'm going to let you get back to your night. I will be here next Thursday. Thanks, everybody.